Good morning, Stampers, and welcome to our Tuesday morning Facebook Live with a Wexford Stamper. I'm glad to see you this morning, and I have a really fun project to share with you today. Hope you're doing well. It's kind of a nice day today, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting out a little bit in the sunshine. So hopefully everyone else is doing well. So let's get started and talk a little bit about the product suite that we're going to be using. First of all, what we're going to be making are these kind boxes. I call them kind boxes. And I posted something earlier about them, and I said, what do you think is inside if it's a kind box? And how many of you knew that it was a little kind mini bar? So very, very cute and very easy to make, and a great, great gift to give a friend. So let's go ahead and look at some of the product that we're going to be using today. First of all, we'll take a look in the mini catalog. This is the catalog that is current right now, but this will be only current up to June 2nd. So many of these products will be gone by after June 2nd. So make sure if there's something you really like that you go ahead and get on and look for some things that you might want. All right, this is the suite we'll be using. It's the Best Dress Suite. We had a Stamp of the Month class last evening, and this was the suite we used. I just love the product in this suite. Let me show you. Here, there's this gorgeous Best Dressed Designer Series paper, and that is right here. And I wanted to show you that a lot of the paper is very floral, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and I've used it on a lot of projects. And then there's some that are the purses and the makeup and the shoes, also very cute. And Dora used those on some of our projects last night. But I really like the stripe. And I haven't taken much time to think about using the stripe on a project. And that's what I decided to use today for my kind bar box. All right, so that's the paper. And that comes in 6x6 pieces of Designer Series paper. And you get 48 sheets in a pack. So that's a great deal. And then the stamp set and die set we're going to be using. This is Dress to Impress, and it has a lot of the stamped images that follow right along with the paper. Very, very cute, and also some really great sentiments. And then here's the die set, all dressed up die set. I'm going to be using a few of the dies today, but I've done all the die cutting already, so I will tell you that when we get to that point in the project. All right, so that's the set we're going to be using, and let's go ahead and get started. All the dimensions and this video will be uploaded onto my blog shortly after this Facebook Live. So if you are watching the recording or you're just catching up now, don't worry, everything will be on my blog, and you'll have really no trouble finding everything that you need. You can always message me if you need to. All right, so here we go. Here is the starting piece we're going to use. Now, I made two here. I made one using Pretty Peacock, and I made one using the Lovely Lipstick. Both of those are great, great to use, but I chose the Pretty Peacock for today's project. And I love it because it's got the Pretty Peacock and it has the purple posy. And I pulled the purple posy from the colors to use on the flowers there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the project. All right, so we're going to start with a piece of paper that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. No, I'm sorry. This piece of paper is 7 by 6 1/2. 7 by 6 1/2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up my scoring board. And on the 7-inch side, I'm going to go ahead and score it at 1/2, 1 1/2, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, Okay, so those are my scores on the long side. On the short side, we go 1, 3, 4, and 6. All right, that is all our scoring that we need for the box today. So let's go ahead and put our scoring board away. And then we'll go ahead and get my bone folder out. And we're going to go ahead and crease on all the score lines. I found these bars at Sam's Club in a large box, 32 bars, and they're so cute, and they're a cute little snack and a great gift. And look at this, look at the color on this, how they coordinate together. Isn't that just crazy? All right, so I thought this is the best box for this one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and score on all my, crease on all my score lines. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. Now I'm gonna put this side, that's a very thin rectangle, along the side here, and I'm gonna cut up the first horizontal, the first vertical to the second horizontal, and then cut that piece off with a little bit of wedging there. Same thing on the top. I'm gonna cut off the first 2 rectangles there. Actually, one's a square and one's a rectangle. Okay, so, all right, there we go. Now the next step is we're gonna cut up all these vertical score lines. Along the bottom here. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and cut these top portions off of the smaller tabs, because we really don't need those. And we're going to go ahead and do a little wedging on these tabs. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to turn the box over and do the exact same thing again. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, and we're going to cut the smaller rectangle of this tab off. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Cut the smaller portion off, and then we're going to go ahead and wedge those sections like that. Okay. That one's a little bit uneven. There we go. All right, now we're almost finished, but we need to cut off a couple more panels. Now, when this box comes together like that, this is going to be the back flap that's going to close up over the front of the box. So what we have to do is we have to cut off these 2 panels here. This one here. And this one here. Because that's where our panels are going to slide in. So we can't have 2 sets of panels there. All right, so there is your box so far. Oops, I see a little bit of a spot where I can cut off excess. There we go. All right, now we're ready. Before we put it together, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on some Designer Series paper. And again, I'm going to pull in the stripes. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to put Tombow on. And these are going to be adhered to the 2 large panels on the front and back of the box. Okay. All right, now we're ready to put the box together. Now, before we do that, I'm going to bring in my 3/4 inch circle punch. If you look at the bottom of my box here, I put 2 little spots that you can put a thumb there to help you open the box. So I'm just going to come in and just get a little bit in there. You want to try to center it there, but I'm just going to take a little nip out both sides. Not a big bit. Okay, and that gives you a little place to put your thumb as you're trying to open the box. Now I'm going to bring in my tear and tape. And I'm going to go ahead along this short, skinny rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and put some of the tear and tape along there. Okay, I'm going to bring in my tool and I'm going to take off the backing on the tear and tape. I'm going to turn my box over, close it over on top of itself, and that's a great way to get a nice even adhesive so you get your box to be perfectly aligned. Okay, now before I close the box, I want to do some rounding, and I'm going to bring in one of my favorite of all punches, and that's this trio punch, and it has has 3 different functions here. My favorite, of course, is the rounding, the corner rounder. So it's going to round the corners of my flaps, and that'll just make it easier to put inside, to slide inside the box. You want to line up both sides of your cardstock, and then you just, very easy to use, not hard on the wrist at all. All right, so now I've got all those ready to go. Let's bring in my kind bar. I'm going to put that right inside. And then I'm going to close up both ends. There's one. And there's 2. Let's turn it over and let's go ahead and decorate the front. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in a stitched oval. Okay, and I'm going to bring in my Pretty Peacock ink, and we're going to use the sentiment "Kindness is always in style" to stay with our theme. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that in the center of my oval. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my flowers. Now my flowers are a stamp from this set, and I've already stamped them using Memento ink, and then I cut them out using the dies. So all I really need to do now is do some coloring, some quick coloring, and that is going to be done using the Purple Posy and I used the light Pretty Peacock. Okay, so that's going to go here. And I'm going to color these in with the light Pretty Peacock just to stay with the color theme. It's a very pretty color. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my Purple Posy. And first I'm going to use the light, and I'm going to color all over my flower. I'm going to use the brush tip for this because it covers it pretty quickly. Same thing over here. Now this is the light, so I like to put a nice covering on the image, and then I come back in with the bullet point and I go back and I go around some of the places where there might be a bit of a shadow, and it helps to define the flower a little more. See how the difference between those two? Okay, all I did was really go around the edges of the flower where there may be a bit of a shadow, and it really gives it a nice distinct look. I love that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get our sentiment on top of our box. I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. Get those out of my box over here. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of my oval. And if you notice here, it goes to the right-hand side of the box, not right in the middle, because we're going to go ahead and have a nice little bow on that side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here on dimensionals. Then I'm going to use a little bit of glue. And I'm just going to put a little touch of glue on each of the corners. And that's where I'm going to put my little flower. I'm going to bring in my tool and just put the flower down gently right here. And then this flower gently right here. The tool makes it great, very easy to do. And then the last thing we need to do here is go ahead and put on some lovely rhinestones just to jazz it up a bit. This would be a great party favor. This would be great for a vendor show. In fact, I'm going to make some of these for a summer vendor show I'm hoping to participate in. Just very, very nice little gift. All right, last thing we're going to do is include some of my favorite ribbon from this catalog, the Polka Dot Tulle ribbon. Just very, very light and airy, perfect for the spring and summer. I'm going to cut myself a nice piece of that. Then I'm going to go ahead and on the left side of the box here, I'm going to go ahead and tie my bow. There we go. Wow. Even on live TV, I did it. And you want to just kind of mess with it a little bit. It is pretty easy to tie this. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and just cut off the lengths. And there we go. There is another kind box. So there are the three of them right there. Aren't they cute? I love them. So if you have any questions about how to make any of these boxes, just send me a message, or you can check on my blog. By the end of the day, all the dimensions and the directions and this video will be included there. Join me on Thursday of this week at 10 o'clock. We're going to make this Joy Fold card. It's a neat, cool, fun fold that I've kind of just learned and love. It's kind of like a card that gives you a hug. I really love that. And it uses some of the Parisian Beauty paper, and that is going to be going out when this recent catalog goes out on June 2nd. So come and join me on Thursday for this. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.